I thank you for each and every person in this place, and I pray that as your word goes forth, we will grab hold of the truth. Not only grab hold of the truth, but apply it to our lives. Lord, I lift up every single person to you today. You know our hearts, you know the thoughts and intents of our hearts. And your word says you do not look at the outward appearance, but you look at the heart. You look inside. We know what's inside our hearts. We know what's buried in the depths of our subconscious minds. And so do you. And Lord, I know you want to come and wash us, take away all the hurt and the shame and the pain and the condemnation. Whatever life's thrown at us, whatever circumstances have thrown at us. Hurts, disappointments, anger, resentment, bitterness, depression, all that kind of stuff that we pick up and we get contaminated with as we walk through the journey of life. And God, I just lift up each and every person to you this morning, and I pray, Father, for hearts to receive your word. Touch us where we need to be touched. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for your presence in this place. We haven't come here to play church, Lord. We've come here because we are the church. We've come here this morning to hear your truth. Thank you so much for your presence in this place. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Hallelujah. This is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Amen. Welcome all the visitors. Welcome. Hello. I don't know who you all are, but you're welcome. I always start off with a joke because the truth can be quite heavy. They say the truth sets you free, but it can make you upset sometimes first. But I know that God is here, and He's going to speak to our hearts as He does, because He's faithful and He's true. Amen. Anyway, so the guy's wandering along the beach one day, and he finds a bottle there, and he rubs the bottle. Out pops this genie. Says to him, I'm going to give you 3 wishes. But there's a catch. So the guy says, what's the catch? He says, for every wish, all the lawyers in the world will get double. So the guy says, okay, a Ferrari. Out pops this beautiful Ferrari, and the guy says, there's your car, but remember now, every lawyer in the world has got 2. They say, that's okay. What's your next wish? He says, $10 million. He checks his bank account, bling bling, the phone goes off there, the money's deposited. So he says, now remember, every lawyer in the world has got 20. That's okay. And then the guy says, I've always wanted to donate a kidney. Sorry if there are any lawyers here. It was just a joke. We can open our Bibles to Proverbs chapter 3. We've got to understand that we don't come here on Sunday mornings because it's some kind of a tradition. And this is what they do, and this is how we maybe grew up. Or we come here because we want to impart something from the truth of the only thing in the universe that never changes, which is the Word of God. I believe you got 100%, brother. Norman. Congratulations. Let's give Norman a hand. Keisha was the top student in the, the free state.
Yeah.
Let's give Keisha a hand. Let's give our musicians a hand as well. Thank you. Who else can we give a hand? Thanks for all your hard work. It's been crazy hot. It's not usually like this. It's been like a heat wave here, and it's like this all over the country. The Western Cape has water for less than 100 days, and then Cape Town City will run out of water. The Eastern Cape has less than 30% in their dams. We need to pray. We need to ask the God of the universe to open the heavens and send down rain. It's a crisis. If the farmers can't grow food, there'll be no food. And if there's a scarcity or a shortage of food, that means the poor people won't be able to afford it. It will become so expensive. And animals are dying, and it's crazy. I saw a post where a lady says, my father went out with his rifle into the field, and I saw him kneel down and pray before he shot these animals that he knew that he'd grown up from little calves, one by one. because there's no more food and there's no more water and there's no more aid, there's no more help, you know, and it's serious. So let us pray for our land. We need to do that. Amen.
Amen.
Are you guys awake?
Yes.
Good. So I want to share this morning a little bit around the song that says, lean not on my own understanding. You know, Proverbs 3 verse 5. If you go to Proverbs 3 verse 5, it says we must trust in the Lord with all of our hearts and lean not on our own understanding. So our trust, our faith, our hope, our confidence should be in the Lord.
Amen.
Now God never changes. He never changes. Imagine if you've really got your trust, your hope, your faith in someone who never ever changes. Because if you place your faith, your hope and your confidence in your understanding, that means that your understanding becomes your God and not God. So the title of my message this morning is The God of Your Understanding. We've got to stop following the God of our understanding. The reason that the world is such a mess is because people are following their own understanding and they're excluding God. They say He doesn't exist, or there are many gods, or there are many ways to God, and this kind of stuff. But I can tell you something from personal experience, that man separated from God is a scary creature. Man separated from God is a scary creature. Yesterday, 52 people were killed in our country, murdered. Today, 52 people will be killed in our country. Tomorrow, 52 people are going to get killed in our country. Yesterday, 29 people took their lives. Some of them took pills, some hung themselves, some blew their brains out. Every single day, today, 29 more people are going to commit suicide. Tomorrow, another 29 people are going to commit suicide. This is because people are following the God of their understanding, and the world has got a system going that is totally run by the understanding of man, of human beings, and secular humanism, and they've excluded God. Now I'm not telling you this, I'm just telling you this is the truth. Werner will be leaving the program. He's going out into a world where this is happening. We're living in a world where this is happening. We're in a semi-protected environment here today. Kerry went down to Durban recently, and there where they were staying near Belito, they threw a soccer ball sized rock off the bridge and 2 children were killed in a motor car. What kind of a mentality have you got to be doing stuff like this? What drives you to do this kind of nonsense? What drove us to do what we have done in our lives? What has driven us to get us to come sit in this chair this morning? I've sat in these chairs many times. I'm not talking down to you, I'm talking with you. I'm trying to tell you something, that there is a way that you can turn your life around and change your life. And that is to stop following the God of your understanding and follow the God of the universe. Because He is God and no one else can take His place. Amen.
Amen.
So, if you follow the God of your understanding, which the majority of humankind is doing, this is what will happen. You'll be unhappy and unfulfilled. It'll always feel like there's something missing. You'll be selfish, self-centered and egotistical. You will look to others for happiness. There's nothing worse than someone who wants to look to you for happiness when you're not the happiness provider. Hello? You cannot look to another human being to make you happy. If you haven't got happiness in your heart, it's an internal thing. And you try and suck it out of someone else. You know what happens? You drain the other person and you put strain on the relationship, and it's an unrealistic expectation that it will not be met. Because they are not God. They're not the source you're supposed to be drawing from. The God of the universe is the source you're supposed to be drawing from, people. They drain others of their strength. You see, when you don't know who you are and you worship the God of your understanding, you're like a leech. You become like a tick. You know, I've got all these dogs at my house. And like we've got this, where there's grass and everything, and they just get full of ticks all the time. The most irritating things, these ticks, because sometimes they get off the dogs and get onto you. They want to suck the life out of you. That's where they get their life from, is from you. So when you follow your own understanding, you become a parasite of other people. You place your trust in others and your reliance, and you get hurt and disappointed. It's a sad place to be. It's really a sad place to be. So it says, trust in the Lord with all of your heart. Do not lean on your own understanding. Listen. David wrote the psalm under the inspiration of the Holy Spirit. That's what my Bible tells me. My Bible also tells me that this truth that's written here is forever settled in heaven. It can never change. So the Holy Spirit, who is the Spirit of truth, spoke through a shepherd boy, David, who became a king. And he says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Don't lean on your own understanding. It's not a suggestion. It's not an idea. It's an instruction. You can choose to do the instruction or not. Look, when you drive over the hill, there's a solid line. The instruction is don't cross the line. You can do it if you want to. But there could be consequences. And usually there are. That is why 14,000 people are killed a year in our roads. Because the majority of drivers on the roads haven't even got licenses, they bought them. Because the system is so corrupt, because people are leaning on their own understanding. And what grieves me is that people continue to lean on their own understanding even after they know the truth. They still think they can bypass God. The Classic Amplified Version says, lean on, trust in, and be confident in the Lord with all your heart and mind, and do not rely on your own insight or your understanding. Stop it. You've got to stop it. If you follow the God of your understanding, that's what got you here, people. You thought you knew better. You thought you could manage your life. And you did. But you weren't such a good manager. I just got a phone call here on the way this morning. And the woman said, this woman's come out of rehab and my father doesn't want to do this. She's got this reintegration plan and my sister doesn't want to do this and blah, 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 blah. They've got this whole family dispute. And this lady is just playing it. She's playing them like a violin. She's saying, but daddy, there's no consequences. Got money off their other sister. It's crazy. And as long as she follows her own understanding, her life's going to be a mess. The message says, trust God from the bottom of your heart and don't try to figure out everything on your own. God's given you an understanding and a mind to make decisions, but make the decisions when you are aligned or united with Him, according to His Word. The God's Word translation says, trust the Lord with all your heart. Do not rely on your own understanding. You get the idea. Your confidence, hopes, plans, and dreams and desires must be in the Lord, not in your own understanding. Do not trust in your IQ. Do not trust in your appearance. Do not trust in your intelligence. Do not trust in your human belief system. Do not trust in your personal knowledge and experience of life. Do not put your confidence in the natural. In short, he's saying, stop leaning on the God of your understanding, because God is your God and not your understanding, your human intellect or your mental capacity. Human reasoning can never take the place of God, people. Do you people watch Carte Blanche? Do they let you watch Carte Blanche? Watch Carte Blanche and just check what's going on. We must try and buy a Sunday Times or whatever and let them have a look here what's going on in the world. You know, you're in a very protected environment here, but there's a lot of challenges happening out there. There's a lot of challenges happening out there. Let us go to Proverbs 28:26 very quickly. I'm going to read out the Holman Christian Standard Bible translation. This is like straight up. You don't need a high IQ to understand what he says here. The one who trusts in himself is a fool. Hello? The one who trusts in himself is a fool. Why did we end up here? Because we were foolish. We trusted in ourselves. We trusted in what we thought was right when it wasn't right. The translation in the Hebrew means stupid. I'm sorry. It means stupid. How many of us have done stupid things in our lives? It's because we're relying on our own understanding. We think we know better. We think we're clever. And what grieves me is that there's still people here, sometimes finishing up, that still think they know better. And it's sad. That means all you did while you were here was you did some time, and you thought you knew better. And you people know who you are. Either you're going to grasp and make a choice to change, or else you're going to stay the same, think you know better, and carry on and become worse. I've never relapsed better in my life. Never. At first, when I got bust, Daddy got an advocate. Even though I was guilty, the advocate got me off. And eventually, after a few times, Daddy said, I'm not going to help you out anymore. And then eventually, as the behavior deteriorated, Mommy said, you're not my son. And Daddy said, listen, if you come to town, just obey and go to Cape Town, don't come to PE because you don't belong to our family anymore. So every time I got worse, things didn't become better. Hello? You don't get better. And you may think, well, I'm not that bad. That was you. This is me. Okay. Carry on. The one who trusts in himself is a fool, but the one who walks in wisdom will be safe. Trusting in your own understanding and worldview makes you a fool according to the word of God. I'm not up here calling you a fool. I'm saying that if the Bible says that if you trust in your own understanding, you're stupid and a fool. And I can maybe add an idiot, just to... Strong words. Let us go to Romans 1 verse 28. We're going to end up in Ephesians 4 this morning. I'm giving you this morning the solution for soul pollution. Romans 1 verse 28. Here's a solution for soul pollution. You get that? There are some different translations, perhaps we can go around, but basically it says this. It says, because they did, I'm reading out of Holman Standard Bible, it says, because they did not think it worthwhile to acknowledge God, God delivered them over to a worthless mind to do what is morally wrong. Another translation says, they did not retain God in their minds or their thinking. Do not rely on your own mind, thinking, and understanding, is what it says. But because they did not retain God in their mind, thinking, or understanding, and their understanding became their God, God gave them over and left them to do what is morally wrong. And we're not going to go through the chapter. It's like reading the Sunday Times. The Roman version, 2,000 years ago. If you follow your understanding, people, your understanding becomes your God. Whatever you follow, a man is a slave to whatever masters him, the Bible says. If crack cocaine is your boss, it's your master. You're a slave to it. You're enslaved to it. If a bottle, alcohol, is your boss, it becomes your master. Your understanding tells you, I need to go and buy a case of, what do they call this stuff, Southern Comfort, or brandy, or whatever, a popsack, or a bottle of spirits if you get there. I need to go to Nigeria to find a solution so I can get rid of some of this pollution. Why are you looking at me so funny? You know? Listen, there are people today, young men and young women, selling their bodies and their souls for stuff because they're following the God of their understanding. Making lives hell for other people. And unless you change, following the God that you've been following, you'll never change your life. You'll just carry on and becoming more and more miserable. And then you could become one of those statistics of the 29 that kill themselves a day. Because you can't cope anymore, you can't deal with yourself anymore. I'm not going to ask you to put up your hands, but I wonder this morning here, if I ask the question, how many of you have ever had thoughts or tried to commit suicide? You don't have to put your hand up, thanks. But thanks for your honesty. I wonder what the percentage would be in this place this morning. Because people are following the God of their own understanding. If I asked another question here, I wonder how many people sitting here have been in some way abused, molested or hurt as a little child, less than 5 years old. You'll be surprised how many hands will go up. If I asked another question, how many people come from divorced families? You'll see a lot of hands go up here. I'm not blaming anyone. My parents were divorced, but they were products of their environment. So if you teach your child to follow their understanding and they teach their child to follow their understanding, you can't blame the parent. The parent is just being who they grew up to be and who their role models were and what their environment was. We've got to stop blaming people, no matter what's happened in our lives. You know, my friend Stephen, that was a missionary in Sudan that spoke to people last week. Stephen has been in the front line in Sudan for 20 years. Now, Stephen worked with an organization, I'm not going to mention the name or the guy's name. And this organization used to use Sudan to raise funding in America and Europe, etc., etc. Large amounts of funding for the mission. One donation could be $200,000, 300,000 euros. So you're talking over a period of years, 20 years, you're talking millions of rands. And this guy wrote in a book, because Stephen exposed the fact that he was not using the funding for what it was purposed to do, that he said he tried to arrange for someone to kill him, and he wrote it in one of his books. He's an author of many books. What am I trying to say to you? I'm trying to say to you that there's a parable in the Bible about the wheat and the tares. And these are all church people that go and listen to hymns and worship and lift their arms and sing to Jesus every Sunday. That are writing lies and slander and gossip about other people. You stop looking to man. Please stop looking to man. You'll only get disappointed. People change. People make mistakes. Stop having an unrealistic expectation of people, of the human race. Especially if they follow their own understanding. Because you'll only get hurt, disappointed and broken. You haven't heard the ERV yet, the easy to read version, have you? Above all, be careful what you think because your thoughts control your life. How's that? Be careful what you think because your thoughts control your life. Other translations say, guard your heart with all diligence. Sorry, we are at Proverbs 4:23. Did I get there with you guys? But you don't have to go there. Guard your heart with all diligence. Your heart is your subconscious mind. And we've more or less said that the reason for the chaos in the world is because mankind is relying on their own thinking. And their own system, which is fallen. What is it going to take for you to understand and get a reality check that the financial system is going to crash? The world system is already crashing. And if you put your faith in that kind of stuff, your faith is in something that's going to crash. I'm not trying to come here and put a spirit of fear in you. I'm trying to get you to operate in faith so that you don't operate with a spirit of fear. And that you do not make money a God in your life. And you do not make a career a God in your life or a person. Because no one can take the place of God except God. No one can take. He says, I'm a jealous God. I know a lady who left the church because she said, how can God be jealous? He's a God of love. Well, he's jealous for you. He will not share you with anybody else. So what's the solution? You might say, and I'm very glad you asked. Let us go to Ephesians chapter 4. Now at least we've got over all the heavy stuff. Let's now get to Ephesians 4 where it becomes heavier. People, you know, Jesus looked at Jerusalem. You know, the shortest verse in the Bible says says Jesus wept. He cried when he looked at mankind separated from God. Ephesians chapter 4, we're going to pick it up in verse 22. From verse 22, I'm going to be reading out the Classic Amplified to bring it out a bit. It says, be constantly renewed in the spirit of your mind. Why do we have to be renewed in the spirit of our minds? Why do we have to be renewed in our understanding and our thinking, people? Because it's contaminated by the world system. It's contaminated by the world system, and we've got to renew it and bring it into line with the Word of God. God's Word is truth. I wonder how many people have spoken lies into your life ever since you were a little child. Telling you you're useless, you're no good, you're never going to make it. Negative things that you have believed. I stand first in the queue. Those are lies. You are made in the image and likeness of God. No matter how you behaved, and your behavior is not you. That was learned by the world system. You're made in the image and likeness of God, and God does not make a thing without a plan or a purpose. He's made you for a plan, and He's made you for a purpose. And He's made you for His purpose. That is why Romans 8:28 says that all things work together for good to those who love God, who are called according to His purpose. So what's the purpose of the church? The purpose of the church is to become like Jesus. How was Jesus? He was full with the Holy Spirit and with power, and He went about doing good, healing all who were oppressed by the devil. That's the job of the church, not the pastor. It's the job of the church. Who is the church? We are the church, with the Holy Spirit's living in all of us, who have received the Spirit of God. The pastors can't run out of church on a Sunday and go and help the world and fix the world. So do you know what? Because the church is so slack, and the church is so complacent, the government has to implement a welfare system and feed the people who can't help themselves. It's the job of the church. Isn't that part of loving your neighbor? Be constantly renewed in the spirit of your mind. That means have a fresh mental and spiritual attitude. Put on the new nature, the regenerate self, created in God's image, in true righteousness and holiness. Reject all falsity and being done with it now. Let everyone express truth to his neighbor. Stop lying. What does another translation say? Charles, have you got something there? It says there, reject all falsehood. Let everyone express truth to his neighbor. For we're all parts of one body.
What verse is that?
It should be verse 23, 4-ish.
Okay.
25.
Since you put away lying, speak the truth, each one to his neighbor, because we are members of one another.
Thanks, brother. We've got to stop lying. Because our lifestyle, it comes with, that's what it comes with. We live in a world where the politicians lie, the bosses lie, the men lie to the women lie to the men. The children lie to each other. The TV lies to us constantly. Be careful of that box when you get out. Be careful of the media. You know why it's called? You know why it's called a program? A TV program, because it programs you. The Kardashians. No, he had a baby or whatever the case is. Did she have a baby? I don't know what happened with the Kardashians, but the guy became a woman. The people seem a bit confused. It's like crazy, man. That's like crazy, man. Anyway, that's another story. It says, in your anger, do not sin. Everyone can get angry, but don't sin in your anger. Yeah, sometimes I just want to clap someone. Just give them a little something on the eardrum. But, I mustn't do that. It's against the Constitution. In your anger, don't let anger go down, and you don't go to sleep angry. Don't go to sleep angry. It will do something inside you. It will mess your head up. You'll get bitter and resentful. Okay, then it says, leave no room or foothold for the devil. Let the thief steal no more, but rather let him become industrious and make an honest living with his own hands. Let no foul or polluting language or evil word or unwholesome or worthless talk ever come out of your mouth, but only such as good as beneficial for spiritual progress. Do you see that we've got to renew our minds to what the world system is not? We mustn't just rely on our understanding, because our understandings have been contaminated since we were little children. I've met people in their 50s and 60s, bitter and angry. And I said, hey man, what's happening? Where is this coming from? Don't you want to change your life? I was told between the age of 2 and 3 that I'm useless, no good, and I'm a rubbish and I'll never amount to anything. I used to do some street work at the beachfront in Durban. And I checked these guys with their spirits. So I checked these guys, hey man, what's happening? What you doing here? Sit down there and have a chat with this guy. And he says he was a magistrate, a judge. So I checked him, so what you doing here drinking spirits, bro? He says, I caught my wife in bed with another man. His wife was his God. And she disappointed him. And it's a very sad thing to happen, but do you have to destroy yourself? That's no reason that's here. That gives you no right to mess up your temple, which is a place for God's Holy Spirit to dwell, no matter what hard luck's happened to you. Bad things have happened to good people. All of us have had bad things happen to us. That's no excuse for acting dysfunctionally. It's no excuse. I knew a 15-year-old girl from the Cape. Her father used to take her down to Voortrekker Road to sell herself. Beautiful little blonde, blue-eyed chick. So the father got her on the tip and the meth so that she could earn money for his alcohol and sort of a bit of the upkeep of the house. Imagine the mindset of this girl. I sat across my desk from a little 15-year-old girl one day and I said, what do you think about spiritual things? Do you believe in God? And that girl got so angry. And the tears welled up in her eyes and she said, Dereck, where was God when I heard the footsteps of my stepfather coming down the passage, praying that he won't turn that door handle and come in and do ugly things to me? From the age of 5 until I was 13 years old. And my mother knew about it. And she was full of anger and rage, and she said, where was God? Listen, man, the world is a broken place. There's a lot of people that are just broken and hurting. And God has called us to pick up the hurting and the broken. It's not just about you. God doesn't come to save you so that you can join the Frozen Chosen Club and to the Illuminati and have a little happily live happily ever after in a little church and have a happy clappy or whatever vibe. That's not where there's no action happening. The action's happening with the gentoos in the harbour, where they're getting cut up and not paid after their services rendered. Those are prostitutes, by the way, for you who don't know. The action's happening on the streets, with these little street kids with their noses, their lungs running out of their noses from sniffing glue, that have got no future, that will just become criminals and steal from your children and maybe even kill, rape and murder your kids. It's not good enough for us to do nothing, people. Following the God of our understanding makes us just get in this little comfort zone. It's all about me. Well, it's your choice. But what about mankind that's dying out there? What about it? What about the other people? If we're supposed to love God, this is the royal command. Love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. That means we better start loving God so we can get to love ourselves, so we can love our neighbors. The reason the neighbors aren't being loved is because we don't love ourselves. Because we don't know the authority of the believer and who we are. You're a child of the Most High God. You're royalty. You're a prince or you're a princess, man. But it's no good I tell you that if you're not going to get proactive, get into the Word, believe the Word, and act on faith. I don't know where they are. Anyway. Do not grieve the Holy Spirit of God. That is the Spirit that's supposed to be living with your spirit in your heart, in your temple. So what is the conclusion, Dereck? The conclusion is that it says in Proverbs 3 verse 5, if you take one verse and make this verse your own, and you trust in God with all your heart, and don't lean on your understanding, your whole life can change. Just on that one revelation. You can turn your whole life around. Play that song for us again, John. Make it softer. So I'm going to just pray for us all here. And, we really need to become proactive and deliberate and do something. Things are not going to change if you just keep going back to the same old, same old. Our lives are not going to change. And if you're depending on someone else to change your life, thank God that there's people that love you enough to put you in a place like this. So there's many people who don't have the means to be in a place like this. Some of us have met them when we were on the pavements of the country and on the streets. Trust in the Lord with all of your heart and do not rely on your own understanding. Remember, the Bible says there's a way that seems right to a man, but it leads to death. A bit louder. Thanks, man. So what do I actually want to say to you people and leave you with this morning? I want to say to you people, listen, man. You can come in here and you can go out and just be exactly the same. Or you can actually listen to the truth of the Word of God that says, stop it. Stop. Stop listening to the way you've been programmed if God is not in the solution in the mix. So Father, I come to you this morning and I just lift up every single person to you here. Lord, you know what's happened to us in our lives. You know each and every person here, God, better than we know ourselves. And I just pray, Father, that you touch us with your word and that your word becomes alive and active in us and that we'll change and never ever be the same again, God. Amen. That we'll come to a place of surrender and humility where we'll say, here I am, Lord, send me. That we'll start thinking about our neighbors. That we'll start loving you and loving ourselves, God. That we won't settle for the average. We won't settle for the ordinary, but we'll stretch and push out towards the extraordinary, God. The stuff that you have, the stuff that seems impossible to us. For with you, nothing is impossible. I lift up every broken person to you this morning, Father. I know you're the healer. Right here, right now. There's no spirit, there's nothing that's stronger than you. You are the creator of all things. There's nothing that's stronger than you. No power, no principality, no throne, no dominion, nothing. They are under the foot of the cross and the believer.